All right, welcome back to the channel and to our travel request approval that we've been building for the past, a few weeks. We're almost at the finish line, and I think after this video, we'll probably have maybe one or two left to go, and then we'll be complete. Please give this video a thumbs up. It'd be much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate your subscription as well. Now let's jump right into our video. Now last week we built our Power Automate approval. So if you remember, let me bring this over here. When the user submits the travel request, a notification gets sent to the team lead. And the team lead gets to, whether approve or to reject. So what we're going to do today is we're going to build the back end. We're going to build the form, the approval form for the team lead manager and senior manager, and show you how all that works. So we're going to build the form and also do the Power Automate portion of it. So let's come back over here. Now, as you can see, this is where we stopped off last week. Now, we didn't do this part. I just went in and I just made a little, I kind of aligned it and I added more detail. So that way, when the approver gets the email, they can see all the details. So when they click here, they can just go right into the form and then approve. So let's jump right into, well, first of all, let me, just in case our beginners didn't know how I did this. So what you do is we come here, you come in, I did something like, trip, title, colon, and then right here in the dynamic content, come here and you can scroll down or just type trip title. And that's how I did it. That's how I added each of the different fields, hotel name, status, so that way they can have all the details that they need. So that's how I did that portion. That's how I added all the details. So now when the user clicks this, it takes them to the approval page, and that's what we're gonna be working on. And then we're gonna come back to our Power Automate. So let me click back, and we go to apps, and then I'm going to click on edit in our apps. Okay, we're here. So now let's come over to our approval page. So here's our approval page. So what we want to happen is when the user, when they get the email and they click on review, it'll bring them here and it'll have a form for them to approve or reject. So let's go ahead and create that. So I kind of thought about what I wanted to do, and every developer is different. They'll have a different style of how they want to do things, but this is how I plan on doing it. And you probably have your own plan as well, your own design. So I'm going to add a container, and then I'm going to add 3 more containers, one for each of the approvers. So container. So that's one container, and I'm also going to give it an appropriate name. So let's call this one, this is the senior manager container. And let's add another one. So this one would be the manager container. So manager, and then let's add our last one. And this last one is going to be called team lead. Okay, there's our team lead. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, and I'm just kind of being contrived. I'm just kind of just going along. I may change this method later. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add edit form. I'm going to connect to the data source that I need, travel request. And then what I'm going to do next is I don't need all of these different fields here. 19 selected. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get rid of a lot of these The only ones that I need for this is status and team lead comment. And then I'm going to add 2 reject buttons. I mean, a approve and a reject button. So let me come in here and just delete all these. And I'm going to pause the video while I do that. So these are the fields that we need. So we have our, let me click on this form here and make sure it's a new. So we have our status. We're going to update that as we when we approve or reject. So we have this here, and then we have our team lead. What is this? Comment, and then our time. So I may get rid of, I'll probably, I'll update this in Power Automate. So let me remove the timestamp. I mean, I can do it here, but I'll just update it there. So now we have these fields here that we need, because we need to update fields as we're doing, to make sure we get to the next approver. So let me turn this, let me make this one column. And the status field and the team lead status field, these are going to be hidden, but I'm going to keep them visible for now. So let's come in here and let's change this from single mode to multi-line mode. And for my new people, if you don't know why, I'm going to show you why. So let me keep it as single. Let me increase this. Let's go to 275. Let's say 200. Okay. Now when I come here, and as you can see, because it's in single mode, see that? So what I want it to do is I want it to be in multi-line mode. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna say multi-line. So now I can, I can have multiple lines instead of it being in just a single line. All right. So let me come here. So now what I want to happen is I'm gonna add my buttons. So let's add my buttons. Um, let's add the modern. So that's one button. Let's add the second button. Okay. So I'm going to say submit. I'm sorry, not submit, approve. And then let's change the color to green. And let's make it a little bit wider. Let's change the font size, 15 maybe. Okay. And then let's come over here to this button, reject. And let's change that color to red. And let's make it the same size as the approved. So 144 and then 48. So come over here, 144, 48. So that way it's the same size. You want consistency. Oops, did I mess that up? 48, not 78, 48. There we have it, folks. Okay, so now let's move this here, move this here. Okay, so now what I want to happen is when approve is clicked, we want to make some updates first. So we're going to come here and let's see here. We're going to have to use update context. So let's come here. Let's go to our unselect, and then we're going to say, okay, update. I like the IntelliSense here, update context, and don't forget record here. And we're going to say var selected status. So the status, and then we're going to say approved. Okay. So now we're going to grab this variable here. So once it's approved, we want to update the status. I mean, this team lead status. Um, so let's go to our team lead status. And then we're going to go to the default selected items here. And let's unlock this. Advance. Okay. And as you can see, it requires a record. So what we're going to do is, let's do this. All right. So that's how that works. We also want to update this status. So this status here, once we approve, it needs to go to the next level. And the next person that the next approver it needs to go to is this guy, the awaiting manager approval. So let's go back to let's come back here. We're going to do another update thing here. So let's go. You know what? I'm going to call this approver status. Approver status. And then let's do this. Copy. Okay. So now we can call this one status. Status. Okay. And then it's going to be awaiting manager approver. Let me make sure I spelled it correctly because that's important. So status awaiting manager approval, not approver, approval. So let's come back here. Awaiting manager approval. Okay. So then we're going to grab this variable, copy that. Let's go to our status, select the status itself, and then let's go to our default selected items. Let's unlock this, and then come in here. There we go. All right, let's test this out and see if it works. So let's come in here. So if I say approve, there you go, approve. Excellent. So now let's do the same thing for reject. So let's come over here for reject. Matter of fact, I'm going to come here. I'm just going to grab this. Copy. And then on select. And then we're just going to change this to rejected. 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 Okay. Let me see, make sure. Rejected is there. Rejected. Okay. All right. So if let me see. Okay, good. So it's using the same variables, right? So let's test it out. There you go. That's how that works. Okay. Now, once we do that, let me click on this here. And now I need to submit the form. So I can do this. And I can say submit form. And then the form is this form. Form 2. You know what? I'm going to rename this. Okay, let's rename this. Okay, and I'm gonna say team lead. Team lead form. Okay. Now we can use one form if we're patching. Um, and I can show that in a different video. So we're gonna say team lead form. All right. All right. So now that I know that works, now I can hide these. So I'm gonna come to the property here, not visible. And I'm gonna do the same thing here, not visible. Okay. So now I can kind of expand this a little bit. Expand it a little bit more. Okay. So now, okay. There we go. Okay. Um, so that's how that works. So that's my team lead container, right? So now what I want to do is, let me fix this really quick. Let me unlock this. And okay, that's a team lead approval comment. And let's bold it up. Bold. Maybe we can increase the font size a little bit. Okay. And I can add a little text here. Oh, you wanna make sure it's inside the container. So let me select my form. I'm having a hard time. So let me come here, select my form. So that way I can move my form down a little bit. Probably move this down some too. Alright, so within my form, within my container, I want to add this text box here. Please provide comments. Yeah, you can probably have a better verbiage, but let's go with that for now. I'm not too worried about this stuff. This is a functionality that I'm more concerned about. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to copy this because we want to do the same thing for each of these. Okay. Paste. All right. So I'm going to come here and what we're going to do is we are going to change the field. We don't want any of this. We're going to leave status, but we want manager now. So let's remove this. Remove this. Let's come up here and let's add our manager. Manager. Where are you? Manager status, and then comment, add. In fact, I'm gonna come here and okay, that's good. All right. All right, let's start renaming some of this stuff here. So let's come here. Let's rename this team manager form. Manager form. Okay. Oh, it looks like I grabbed senior manager. So let's go fix that. We don't want senior manager. Let's remove that. We want manager. So let's type manager. There you go. Manager status. Add. Okay. And let's come to our status. And let's make this visible as well. Excellent. Okay. Okay. So basically, same thing as before. Okay. So now, if you remember what we did last time, let's look at this here. We're just going to copy this and just change some names around. Come here. On select. Oh, I forgot. It's already there. So now, just to be safe, I guess. Well, it doesn't even really matter. We can have the same variables. So we have that for here, and then we can come here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change it. I'm going to give it a different name. Let's call it manager. Because what's going to happen is if you approve one, it's going to update this everywhere, and the form is going to be in the same screen. So in your list, when it gets submitted, everywhere where this is located, where the same name is located, var selected status, if it doesn't have a different name for the manager, it'll just update the manager and the senior manager. So we're going to change the name. So accept the status. We're going to leave the status as is. But for this, we're going to change this to senior. Senior manager. That's all we're going to do. So, but we're going to leave it var select the status the same. So we're going to come here. Manager. Let's come up here to default selected. Oh, okay. So default selected, and then let's unlock. Let's do this. Oops. Let's do that again. Default selected. There we go. Okay, let's test this out. So if I do approve, no. Oh, I think it submitted it. We don't want to submit. It submitted my form. Okay, that's okay. Let's try this again. Well, we know it works. Okay, let's test this again. Let me make sure. See, I got the. I knew something was wrong. So awaiting manager, not senior. So awaiting manager. So let's do this. Awaiting manager. Oh, awaiting manager. Awaiting senior manager. Senior manager. Awaiting senior manager approval. Okay, so let's try this out again. Awaiting senior manager approval. Excellent. So now we need to do the same thing for reject. So let's come in here and let's just copy this. Copy. Let's go to our reject. On select. Um, Let me just copy this actually. Update. So this is say rejected. 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 And we're going to come over here. Same thing. Rejected. Okay. So let's see. So rejected. That works. Excellent. Excellent. That's what we want. All right. So now let's come here. Let's hide these fields. Let's hide this one as well. And then we have $551 $369. So let's come in here. 360. Was it 9? I think I said. Okay. Let's come in here and fix this. And I'm going to show you. So let's come in here. Let's unlock this. Manager approval comment. All right. Now I know you guys are getting concerned. Don't worry. When this is final, only one of these will appear at a time. So based on what when the user clicks that review, we're gonna have within the query string whose turn it is to review. So if it's if it's manager or team lead, the corresponding one will show. So I'm going to go ahead and create our last one, but I'm going to put this on pause and create it since you know how I've done this. So let me just pause it really quick and create the senior manager, the last one. All right, so we're back. So here's our senior manager. So here is what it looks like when you approve. See, I change the variable name, approved. Since they are the final approval for the status, it'll be just approved, and then reject will be rejected. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to align these all on the same side. So let's start with approve. First thing I need to do is I'm going to select the approval container, the team lead container, which is this. And I've taken note of what the position is, and I'm just going to hide the container. So Let me move the manager container out of the way first. All right, so I moved that out the way. So I'm just gonna look at this here. Okay. So I'm just taking note of these values over here, because I'm gonna give all three of them the same value and just hide everything. And everyone may do it differently, but this is how I'm gonna do it. And so now what I'm going to do is, so now I have that, I'm just going to make this non-visible. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to grab the next one, manager. I'm going to make sure it has the same position, 0, 0, 611, 717. Yep, there you go. And then I'm just going to hide that as well. And I'm going to come here, grab the manager container. Just do the same thing. So position 0 with 611 717. Okay. And then I'm going to hide that. I'm not going to hide that just yet. Now you're probably wondering what am I going to do with this side here. So what I'm going to do here is I want to provide the comments of the previous approvers. So right here, I'm just going to add all the comments. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to add a little container. So that way they can see what the previous, what the previous one did. Comments they had. I don't even have to add a container, but I want to add one anyway. So container. Probably doesn't have to be that big. So now I'm going to come here and I'm going to add a form. And so what I want to happen now is I'm going to pause the form and only show the fields that I need. So let me pause the video I meant. All right, so this is what we have. So I have on this side the approval comments. And so if it's the manager, they're going to see team lead and manager comments. And if this was just the manager would only see, this would be, they'll only see team lead approval comments. So that's the functionality of how this is going to work. So anyway, this video is getting too long, so I'm going to shorten it. But when I do release this video, I'm going to release this second part of the video as well to completion. So you're gonna be getting 2 videos when this one does come out. So that way I don't leave anybody hanging. You don't have to wait a whole week. But thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to the video. In our next video, you're gonna see how all this works. I'm gonna continue on so you can see how all this works, and then you can see I'm also going to work on the workflow as well. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Bye.